When I turned 16 and can put an end to it, I left the church and came back at some point in my mid-20s. I had read the Tao Te Ching and I'd read the Bhagavad Gita and I was reading the sutras and I was meditating, and this question dawned upon me one day. What if you can eat consciousness? What if you can eat consciousness? What if they're correct in some way that even perhaps most of them don't know about, and that the Eucharist really is what it says it is? What if that's true? If it's not true, it's an absurdity, a 20th century absurdity, walking up to a cup and a piece of bread and talking about the presence of God or the presence of consciousness, which is an easier word for our time. On the other hand, if it's true, if we can eat the product of meditation, then what else is important? What else could possibly be important than to do that? So with that thought in mind, in my mid-20s, back to church I went, and I went every day for 25 years. At first, every day but Sunday, because they said you had to go on Sundays. So I went Monday through Saturday. And I developed a relationship with the Eucharist as I studied the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and the Eastern and Jungian, psychology and all of that. And this wedding took place in me of East and West. I found a way, even while held suspect by the church, by the people around me, for being one of those Eastern eco weirdos. At the same time, I was held suspect by the eco-Eastern weirdos because I was Catholic. And so I had this strange insight into what Yeshua meant when he said the foxes have their lairs and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to rest his head. And it was like that. I was always on the outside. But there is a God on the outside that only outsiders come to know. There's a God of the inside, and it's the same God. It's the same God, but the wild God of the outside has no definitions and is open to one's own definitions, and is open and welcomes those who seek with enough sincerity that they're willing to be broken open, and that they're willing to suffer, that they're willing to be crucified at the fourth chakra, at the heart, so that the heart opens and so that the light of the resurrection can actually begin to move through them. And so this great synthesis took place in me that didn't feel very great most of the way along. In fact, it was anguish and a continual feeling in me that maybe I'm just not all there, that what is, why am I doing this? I started studying Jung and began to ask questions about compensatory responses to mental illness, and that led me to be a doctor of psychology. And but the process of knowing the wild God of the desert was so compelling that I couldn't stop, up from all the way through those decades up to this moment as I sit here and share that experience with you, an experience that perhaps most of you on one level or another have had, or you wouldn't be sitting here with us.